Good evening and welcome to News Tonight, where we get you all the big news and events through the day from across India and the world. I am Tina Jha. Let's take a look at what's making headlines this Saturday evening. India and Sri Lanka pledged to deepen their development partnership in meeting between Prime Ministers Modi and Wickremesinghe. Focus on Hambantota Airport, Trichonmali Port and housing projects in Lanka. India has embarked on a journey of inclusive and sustainable growth, says Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu in Belgium. Invites businesses to invest in India as he says country focused on transforming its economy. Death toll in the Amritsar tragedy crosses 60, even as Chief Minister Amrinder Singh promises better healthcare for the injured and orders a magisterial probe. Railways says it was not intimated about a Dussehra event along the tracks. In the Jammu and Kashmir civic polls, BJP wins in 4 districts in South Kashmir and sweeps Jammu, while independents win majority of seats in Srinagar. Congress ahead in Ladakh region. And Saina Nehwal enters the finals of the Denmark Open, beating world number 19 Gregoria Tunjung in a one-sided match. But Kidambi Srikanth ousted after he loses his semi-final match to world number 1 Kento Momota. In the face of challenges from China, India and Sri Lanka pledged to deepen their development partnership in a new way. While India's assistance will be based on easy loans, grants, joint projects and technical support on the basis of their demands, efforts will be to make it easier and comfortable for Sri Lanka in economic terms. With this goal in mind, the tenets and fresh areas of mutual cooperation were discussed in detail between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe on Saturday in New Delhi. Sri Lanka's Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe held delegation-level talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the last day of his visit. Both leaders discussed in detail about the development issues of Sri Lanka, a country in a severe Chinese debt trap since the Hambantota Airport was built. According to the Ministry of External Affairs, Prime Minister Modi has assured the Lankan Prime Minister of all possible help. The focus was on development projects, both ongoing and the ones that will come in the future. The issue of Trichonmali Port and new housing projects in northern Sri Lanka were also discussed. The issue of operations at the Hambantota Airport also figured in the talks. Both leaders also decided to increase people-to-people relationship, make joint efforts to promote tourism and to encourage students to study and also be able to take advantage of the South Asian university that is situated in Delhi. A decision was also taken to jointly develop oil tankers with the Indian Oil Corporation. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj, Home Minister Rajnath Singh and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval also met the Lankan Prime Minister. The issue of Sri Lankan Tamils was also discussed. On Friday, Ranil Wickremesinghe had met Congress President Rahul Gandhi, UPA Chairperson Sonia Gandhi and former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. With inputs from Akhilesh Suman, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And for more on the story, we're being joined on News Tonight by Suresh K. Goyal, former ambassador. A very good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us on News Tonight. Sir, just before the Lankan Prime Minister's visit to India, Sri Lanka is believed to have reversed a $300 million housing deal with China and also granted it to an Indian firm. Do you see this as an effort by our neighbor to walk out of the Chinese debt trap, or is it just a balancing act by Sri Lanka between China and India?
I do believe that after the experience in Hambantota, the Sri Lankan government, irrespective of whichever the party is in power, they are becoming aware of the possibility to the debt trap for the Chinese projects. So I don't really see what happened in terms of getting the project for the $300 housing loan, housing project. I don't see that as a kind of a balancing act, but I do see that really as a kind of an awareness as to what the risk of Chinese projects are.
Yes.
And this is a good sign for India. It can work in terms of our own strategic interests, but this is a separate matter.
All right, sir. The talks between the visiting Lankan Prime Minister and Prime Minister Modi also focused on further stepping up development cooperation, particularly on projects in which India is spending in Sri Lanka. In what way is this is this partnership going to benefit India?
Yes. As a South Asian neighbor of very great and substantive strategic importance to us, we need to really identify the areas of commonality and where we can work together rather than, I think the relationship has to be something where we can partner, where we can work together rather than being of, something kind of China, the bigger brother, and Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Therefore, in that respect, the development partnership is something which is very, very useful. It is of benefit. It's kind of a win-win situation where Sri Lanka gains in terms of its own development and growth, its own objectives, and where India is able to partner with the country in terms of a long-term relationship. And I think in that sense, we need to look at the long-term goals rather than short-term temporary kind of gains or losses. So in that sense, what I see happening particularly is that hopefully there will be an emergence of a stronger relationship between two very, very important neighbors, India and Sri Lanka.
Of course. Sir, apart from development cooperation, what are the other areas in which India can, invest and deepen its cooperation with the island country?
I think two most important areas would be, one is connectivity, which involves the routes of navigation, communications, etc., etc. And the other is the role that Sri Lanka can play in the Indian Ocean, IOR, the Indian Ocean region. Now, Indian Ocean is emerging as an area of both contest and great opportunities. And our interest lies in developing the area as an area of opportunity for all the South Asian nations, and Sri Lanka, being one of the most important littoral countries, has a great role to play in that process. So I think we should focus on those areas of cooperation with Sri Lanka where our interests can converge into both economic growth and strategic congruence.
Certainly. Sir, news reports also suggest that the issue of India taking charge of operating Sri Lanka's loss-making Hambantota airport also figured in the talks. Now, this particular airport is called the world's emptiest airport. Why do you think India wants to spend around $300 million in this airport?
Eventually, for all these projects, my own sense is that the economic dynamics is going to win. Therefore, I'm not saying anything at the moment really as to which way it is going to go. But just like the Hambantota became actually a dead elephant around the neck of the Sri Lankan government, any economically unviable projects is better to shelf it in the beginning rather than carry the dead weight in the future. Therefore, rather than making any comment on the airport business, I think, in fact, if you recall, the Indian government had the offer to work on the Hambantota. We said no to it.
Yes, it did.
Because we found that economically it was not viable. And I'm sure the same kind of arguments are going to weigh here also.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for giving us an insight into the relationship between India and Sri Lanka in the present times. Moving on in the bulletin, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has praised the dynamic role played by the Indian diaspora in Antwerp in making Belgium a hub of global diamond trade and also in contributing towards the country's economy. Addressing the diaspora, he said that India had embarked on a journey of inclusive and sustainable growth as he invited businesses to come and invest in the country. Rajkumar Rao brings us this report from Brussels. A day after concluding the 12th Assam Summit, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu interacted with the Indian community in Antwerp. He said the presence of Indians in Antwerp helped strengthen India-Belgium ties. He also praised the Indian diaspora for contributing towards the Belgian economy.
India and Belgium share a long history of friendship and close cooperation. India attaches high value to its relations with Belgium. Belgium is one of the first nations to recognize and enter into diplomatic relations with independent India. Last year, we celebrated 70 years of establishment of diplomatic relations.
The Vice President spoke about the new India that is emerging as a major force in an ever-evolving multipolar world. He added India had embarked on a journey of inclusive and sustainable growth. The Vice President also guaranteed that India had its eyes set on transforming its economy with renewed focus on performance and said that a number of business impeding laws were being repealed.
India is emerging as a major force in the evolving multipolar world. We seek to shape our international interactions on our terms. We have realized and revitalized our diplomatic engagements across the continent, opening new doors for mutually nourishing partnerships in a wide array of areas. While the economy of the country continues to face numerous challenges, we have embarked on a journey which will result in inclusive and sustainable growth. India's inherent advantages include its expanding workforce, consumer market, and rapid urbanization, growing education and skill capabilities, stronger technology adoption, and potential for driving exports through greater local manufacturing. Our flagship program in the area of manufacturing, digitization, skill financial inclusion, urbanization, startups, infrastructure, clean energy, and transportation has unleashed a new momentum which is driving organic growth of our country. Today, the changes underway in India are deeper and broader.
The Vice President also paid floral tribute at a statue of Mahatma Gandhi and visited a Jain temple before ending his two-day visit to Belgium. With inputs from Rajkumar Rao, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. On to some other news. A day after the Dussehra celebrations were marred by tragedy in Amritsar, relief and rehabilitation efforts for victims continue. 61 people were killed and 113 injured as a train ran over a crowd that had spilled onto the railway tracks while watching Ravan Dahan at a ground adjacent to the tracks. 40 bodies have been identified so far. According to officials, most of the victims were migrant workers from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The injured are being treated at various hospitals. Teams of doctors have been brought in from other cities as well. Visiting the injured at various hospitals, Chief Minister Amrinder Singh announced compensation of 5 lakh rupees each for the next of the kin of those killed and free treatment for the injured. The Divisional Commissioner of Jalandhar has been ordered to hold an inquiry and submit its report within 4 weeks. Punjab declared a state of mourning on Saturday, with all offices and educational institutions remaining closed.
This is not a time for making allegations against people. This is a time for all of us to get together to see that this tragedy is dealt with in the proper manner. I want you to, compensation, we have already announced 5 lakhs of rupees per family, per person who has been killed. We are giving free treatment in all the hospitals. Government is going to pay for that. Plus, those who are injured in a way which will need long-term treatment, we are giving 50,000 rupees that.
Minister of State for Railways Manoj Sinha has ruled out any punitive action against the driver of the train, saying there was no lapse on part of the railways. He said the accident could have been averted if precautions were taken. The minister also said drivers are given specific instructions on where to slow down the train. Railway Board's chairman Ashwini Lohani also maintained that railways had no intimation about the Dussehra event near the railway tracks.
हादसा टाला जा सकता था। जब रावण जलाया गया तो उसमें से क्रैकर्स की आवाज़ आई तो भगदड़ सी भी मची और उसमें ट्रेन की आवाज़ लोग नहीं सुन पाए, पटाखों की आवाज़ के बीच। इसमें ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण हादसा हुआ है। पहली प्राथमिकता हमारी ये है कि जो लोग गंभीर रूप से घायल हैं उनको अच्छे से अच्छा इलाज पहुंचाया जा सके।
जहाँ पे रावण दहन का प्रोग्राम हो रहा था उसकी सूचना न रेलवे को किसी तरह की सूचना दी गई थी कि वहाँ पे रावण दहन हो रहा है। वहाँ पे कोई स्पीड रेस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं था, दोनों तरफ लेवल क्रॉसिंग्स थे, लेवल क्रॉसिंग्स बंद थे दोनों तरफ, वो मैंड लेवल क्रॉसिंग्स हैं दोनों तरफ, इंटरलॉक्ड लेवल क्रॉसिंग्स हैं जो बंद थे उस समय। तो वो रास्ता ट्रेन जाने के लिए बना हुआ था, तो वहाँ से ट्रेन गुजरी और ये खराब हादसा हो गया। इसमें रेलवे की किसी तरह से कोई जिम्मेदारी नहीं है।
Time for a short break. News and updates will continue on the other side. Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight. Counting for the recently held civic polls in Jammu and Kashmir concluded as BJP emerged as a clear winner in the Jammu Municipal Corporation elections with 43 seats in its basket in the 75-member body. Prime Minister Modi has thanked the people of the state for supporting BJP in the polls. On the other hand, the Congress suffered a huge loss by winning only 14 seats against its 26 in the 2005 civic polls. Independent candidates also put on a good show, winning a total of 18 seats in the Jammu Municipal Corporation. Of the 74 wards in the Srinagar Municipal Corporation, independent candidates won 49 seats, Congress got 12 seats, the BJP secured 4, while in one ward, no votes were polled and 8 seats remained uncontested. Out of the total 26 wards in Ladakh region, the Congress bagged all 13 seats in the Leh Municipal Committee. It also won 5 wards in neighbouring Kargil district.
जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर जो नगर निगम निकाय चुनाव हुए हैं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी को प्रचंड बहुमत जनता ने दिया है। लखनपुर से लेके पुंछ तक, डोडा किश्तवाड़ से लेके रियासी और कटरे तक और कश्मीर घाटी में और लद्दाख में भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं की जीत हुई है। ये जीत नरेंद्र मोदी जी की है, ये जीत भारत देश की है, ये जीत भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं की है। जम्मू कश्मीर की जनता ने एक बार फिर भारतीय जनता पार्टी में विश्वास जताया है।
Congress President Rahul Gandhi kicked off his party's election campaign in Telangana on Saturday. Addressing rallies in Adilabad, Kamareddy and Hyderabad, Rahul Gandhi launched a two-front attack on both Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the state's caretaker Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao, accusing both of them of corruption. The Congress chief alleged that the TRS government has pushed Telangana into a debt of 2 lakh crore rupees. He also went on to say that only the Congress could build the Telangana free of corruption and farmer suicides. He promised that if voted to power, Congress would implement the legislation brought by the UPA government to protect the lands of farmers and tribal communities and also return the lands that were forcibly acquired by the KCR government.
जैसे ही कांग्रेस पार्टी की सरकार दिल्ली में आएगी और तेलंगाना में आएगी तो हम आपका जो आदिवासी बिल है और जो जमीनी अधिकरण बिल है उसको हम लागू करके दिखाएंगे और जो आपका हक है, किसानों का हक है, आदिवासियों का हक है, वो हम आपको दिलवा के दिखाएंगे।
Districts along the Brahmaputra River in Arunachal Pradesh have been put on high alert for possible flash floods. People living along the banks of the Brahmaputra River have been moved to safer areas. The first rush of water reached Pasighat in Arunachal Pradesh on Saturday morning. However, the water flow was below the danger levels. This comes after China informed India about a landslide blocking its main stream in Tibet, leading to formation of an artificial lake. MEA spokesperson Ravish Kumar said the government is in regular contact with the Chinese side for further updates. He added relevant authorities of the central government and also the state governments concerned have been apprised about the emerging situation to enable them to take necessary precautionary measures. Meanwhile, in Assam, Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal has directed authorities in districts bordering Arunachal Pradesh to remain alert. The district administration, district disaster management authorities and all other departments concerned have been asked to remain on alert. 6 NDRF teams from Kolkata are scheduled to arrive and will move to the districts as and when required. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj spoke to the Chief Minister Friday night and urged him to take all possible measures in the wake of the rising situation.
It's a very big river And when there are some natural calamities or some kind of earthquake or landslides, something happens, then it poses danger to the people who live downstream. The Chinese government is sharing information with the Indian authorities, and our Indian authorities have also shared information with the district administration in the Siang belt. So all the precautionary measures are being taken because it's a natural phenomena. There are huge landslides and blockage of the normal course of river's flow. So there is some disturbances in the normal flow of the Siang River.
And news now from national capital Delhi, where a haze has engulfed as the air quality nosedived to very poor category. Several areas recorded severe pollution levels. The overall air quality index of Delhi was recorded at 337, which falls in the very poor category and is also the highest this season. About 31 areas in Delhi recorded very poor air quality, while 2 areas showed severe air quality levels. The deterioration of air quality comes a day after firecrackers were burst on the occasion of Dussehra, even after repeated appeals by authorities to go for eco-friendly celebrations. The Supreme Court appointed Environment Protection Control Authority had on Friday held a meeting with state governments and the Delhi government officials to discuss the pollution situation in the national capital. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in a flag-hoisting ceremony at the Red Fort on Sunday to mark the 75th anniversary of the Azad Hind Fauj, headed by Subhash Chandra Bose. Prime Minister Modi will also inaugurate a museum dedicated to Azad Hind Fauj and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose in the Red Fort premises. Army veterans and people connected with the Azad Hind Fauj will also attend the event. The Azad Hind Fauj was founded on 21st October 1943 in Singapore by Subhash Chandra Bose.
हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी खुद कल सुबह लाल किले की परिसर में जो बैरक्स जहां पे आजाद हिंद फौज के अफसरों का ट्रायल हुआ था वहां पे राष्ट्र ध्वज फहराएंगे और वहां पे 23 जनवरी को जो उद्घाटन होगा आईएनए और नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस म्यूजियम का, सरकार की तरफ से एक म्यूजियम वहां पे बनाया जा रहा है जहां पूरा इतिहास हमारा वहां पे प्रिजर्व होगा.
A suicide attacker blew himself up at a polling station in Kabul on Saturday. At least 15 people have been killed in the terror attack that hit Kabul as polling for the parliamentary elections concluded in the Afghan capital. Over 25 people were wounded in the attack. There was no immediate claim of responsibility. The Taliban had issued threats of attacking election centers if people participated in the historic polls. And the BJP CEC meeting in New Delhi has just concluded. JP Nadda at the moment is addressing a press conference. Let's listen.
वो सह सकें और उनकी आत्मा को शांति मिले, ये बात कही गई. इसके पश्चात एक प्रस्ताव जो हमारे त्रिपुरा में और जम्मू कश्मीर में स्थानीय निकाय के चुनाव हुए, द इलेक्शंस ऑफ द अर्बन एरियाज, द म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन, द म्युनिसिपल कमिटी of Tripura and for the local body elections in Tripura and Jammu Kashmir, उसके जो नतीजे आए हैं वो बहुत ही उत्साहवर्धक हैं और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में लोगों ने जो अपना मतदान दिया है उसके प्रति भी आभार व्यक्त किया गया. जहाँ तक त्रिपुरा का सवाल है, आपके साथ मैं शेयर करना चाहूँगा कि ग्राम पंचायत के चुनाव में बीजेपी हैज़ वन 99.4% सीट्स. 99.4% का हमको ग्राम पंचायत में सफलता मिली. उसी तरीके से त्रिपुरा में पंचायत समिति में 99% सफलता मिली और ज़िला परिषद में Out of 18 seats, all 18 seats बीजेपी वन, सो 100% सफलता मिली। तो ये त्रिपुरा का नतीजा है। और दूसरा नतीजा जम्मू कश्मीर का है, जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में आया है। जम्मू नगर निगम में पहली बार किसी दल को पूर्ण बहुमत मिला है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जम्मू कश्मीर के नगर निगम में 75 में से 43 सीटें बीजेपी को मिली हैं। और उसी तरीके से जम्मू के नगर पालिका में 17 पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी को बहुमत मिला है। और सबसे जो उत्साहवर्धक है वो श्रीनगर में 5 नगर पालिकाओं में भारतीय जनता पार्टी को बहुमत मिला है, घाटी में। तो ये जो नतीजे आए हैं, इस पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी के प्रति जो लोगों ने अपना विश्वास व्यक्त किया है, आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के प्रति, और जो अमित शाह जी की कुशल रणनीति के तहत ये सफलता हमें हासिल हुई है। हाँ, हम अपने नेता आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री और अध्यक्ष जी को धन्यवाद देते हैं। वहीं वहाँ की जनता, जिन्होंने भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में घाटी में जिस तरीके से वोट दिया और जम्मू कश्मीर में इतनी विजय दिलाई है, जम्मू रीजन में भी और कश्मीर रीजन में भी, उसके लिए हम मतदाताओं को भी धन्यवाद देते हैं। और कितना भी दुष्प्रचार करने के बावजूद भी लोगों ने विकास को वोट दिया है और उसको आगे बढ़ाया है, तो इसके लिए हम उनका धन्यवाद करते हैं।
So the BJP CEC hailed the party's remarkable performance in the civic polls both in Jammu and Kashmir and Tripura. In some sports news now, ace shuttler Saina Nehwal has entered the women's singles final of the Denmark Open. Saina Nehwal defeated Gregoria Mariska of Indonesia 21-11, 21-12 in the semi-final. She will now face top-seeded Tai Tzu Ying of Taiwan in the summit clash on Sunday. In another semi-final, defending champion K. Srikanth was knocked out of the tournament after losing 16-21, 12-21 to world number 1 Kento Momota of Japan. In the women's doubles, the pair of Ashwini Ponappa and N. Siki Reddy bowed out after losing in the quarterfinal to the top-seeded Japanese duo of Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota 14-21, 12-21. And that's it from us in this bulletin. Thanks for your time.